What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day. You know what? People grow, evolve, and change. And if you don't evolve and change, generally speaking, you get left behind. Generally speaking, get left behind. We've always seen the big companies and everything else that we think are going to be there forever. And then somebody else learns from you on what you do, and they figure out how to do it better, cheaper, and taking it to another level. And if you don't change and evolve, you will get passed by. And you have to have the mentality that somebody is trying to take what you have and you have to evolve to hold on to it. I have looked at this for years and I am still scared as crap that I'm going to become irrelevant. And that's where you're always trying to figure out what is the next thing? How do I keep evolving and getting better of what I do? You can't just say, yeah, this is the way I've always done things and I'm good. And so I saw a tweet this morning from Brandon Lohr, who's retweeting one of Micah Parsons' workouts. Let's take a look here real quick, because this is, Micah is doing it up. I got it, grab. Oh, let me cut the music on. I don't want to get copywritten. Boom. Micah Parsons working his ass off. For those out there that's saying his podcast, because he was podcasting the whole draft, that it's a distraction. Well, I have to say, go pound sand. Go pound sand. This man works the hell out of it, okay? Now, the reason why I was bringing this was in the post, Brandon Lohr posted this. Brandon Lohr, one thing I notice about Cowboys Micah Parsons is that he trains with multiple people in the off seasons, always looking to take bits and pieces from each other, from each one to improve himself, also giving the trainers a larger spotlight. It's pretty cool. And I'm going to say he does that with his teammates as well. And see, this is where I'm going to say, for those out there that say Micah Parsons is selfish and not a team player and he only wants to be a podcaster, I'm going to say Micah Parsons has grown. And I told you guys how much I'm going to say him being injured changed everything for him. Because this was 1 year ago. This was 1 year ago when Micah Parsons had to finally show up for mandatory workouts. His attitude on working with his teammates, we had a brand new coach and Mike Zimmer, so we had changes coming for the defense. And this was Mike Parsons 1 year ago.
So the trip was, obviously, I did it last year, but we go international. We have camps. We did camps all across Europe, but this year we did it all across, we did one in Shanghai, China, and we had a big one in Tokyo. And that's what Flex works. We're just trying to spread the brand of football. And then there's a lot of kids who are, parents are in the Army. So it's good for them to, see us, and, their experience is great because, obviously, football is not so big down there. So, I think it's always an amazing opportunity to do that.
Sumo wrestling's big.
Yeah.
So what you think about that?
Nah, sumo's legit. So at first, I was like, man, I'm going to do that. I'm going to hop in there. And so they have tiers. And the tier that I had was, you could put it, as if he was, the kid was 17 at the tier, so he's a high schooler, really. And there's, tiers. So there's black belts and the white belts. And I could show you a video of the white belts. And they're completely different. So imagine a zero tech and a center doing in the Oklahoma drill every play without pads, and it's so violent. And they was like, you still want to do it? I was like, nope, that's a walking concussion. I was like, do you guys get a lot of concussions? It was like, yeah, but it's just a part of it. I was like, nah, it's not a part of my sport. You know, it was like, so sumo wrestling is a completely different. Their techniques, their style is so mind-boggling. Like, they tried to show me a couple things, and I just failed completely. Like, very challenging. Had my legs shaking, and I was like, man, I need to do more legs. They do legs every day. So, hitting them's like a brick wall, really. So I think they wouldn't be good offensive linemen because they can't move that well. But you put them in a zero tech, say, don't move, oh, man, that'd be great. So I'm recruiting some as we speak.
Here's the point that I want to bring up.
As frequently as others, what was the thought process behind that?
I mean, I think that's always been kind of my style. I think I really haven't been here since, like, my rookie season, so I don't think it's anything new. I think I always had, like, my own way of doing things. And, defense is defense. I'm pretty much caught up on everything. I went over it. Paul was meeting up with me, the run game coordinator. So I really wasn't missing anything. So I feel like I was just getting better, getting stronger, getting faster, just doing my things and what Micah does in the offseason. Wrestle sumos. So I just have.
You hear all that, right?
But a lot of people are obviously, there's talking points about the fact that you do have a new defensive coordinator here, and the value of just in terms of leadership too, getting around the young guys. What's your pushback on that?
Yeah, I think the more years you have in, the more you understand that there's also like the business side to it, and whether I like it or not, there's rookies or people I came with that's not even here anymore. And I think that's what camp is for. I mean, there was a time where Aaron Donald didn't even go to camp and he won Defensive Player of the Year and he realized his team in the playoffs. Like, are we forgetting these times? Like, you're talking about the best defensive player, wasn't even in camp. And we're in mini camp, or a voluntary at that. So, camp would say
you see it, right?
Mandatory. So I'm just looking at a time for my body to heal. I'm an undersized rusher who gets banged up every year. So I'm just letting my body heal. I'm just trying to grow, strengthen, and really just get ready for the year.
In the offseason, you had said, well, we're still in the offseason, you had talked about chemistry. There was some issues with chemistry. And then with you not being here as frequent, some would say, well, aren't you contradicting yourself when you talk about chemistry within this team?
Well, I would say, you ever Remember the Titans? We're going to be in Oxnard a very, very long time. There's going to be a lot of chemistry in that building. And I think that's really the time where you see everything. Like, it's hard to really teach someone without pads or true contact or hand points. Like, it's just not realistic. We can't even touch each other. We're going to lose a draft pick or something like that. Like, it's outrageous. It's not even really, I think right now it's just more technique. It's a lot of walkthroughs right now, nothing to anything. So for my position where I'm at, it's a lot of individual. And I could be doing a lot of individual by myself or with my trainer.
Have you talked to any veterans about this is the way you should do it or not do it? Like, do you have mentors that you've sort of said, what should I be doing with my body? Like, where does this come from?
Well, understanding the business side of it too. Your body, this is all I have. This is all I have to offer the Cowboys. Before you sign a contract, you go through a physical. Before you do anything, before you're even on a team, you got to go through a physical. Like, this is your this is your engine. Like, this is where all my equity lies. I have no equity outside of this to offer them. So at the end, you got to understand, availability is the best ability. And if I'm not available when it really matters because I'm banged up or my body's not healing properly or I didn't get all the rehab and treatment that I need to be successful, then, that's on me. It's not on them. They're just finding next me, so.
But pushback. What if other teammates started to do that?
I think some do. Some people still do. They still go to other trainings outside of this. They still do that. Like, it's a normality, really. I don't think one person just uses the team trainers and things like that.
The building relationship part, how is that within the locker room and that kind of thing? Because when you talk about chemistry, you also think about that.
I mean, you don't just build relationship in the locker room. I mean, me and Chauncey just went to Columbia together. And Sam was there too. I mean, I don't think a locker room is the only way I build chemistry with my teammates. Now, you're talking about rookies. I mean, I come in here and I sit in a Cub tub and I talk to some of the rookies. Like, just because I'm actively not here at the designated time doesn't mean I don't come in.
Micah, you talked about the business side with CD.
I'm going to leave it right there. But you see the difference here, right? You see the growth where now he showed up day one of voluntary workouts amidst a contract dispute. And when you see him, he's there working with his teammates and things. This is a sea change that I think is actually going to be really major as far as this team goes. And he's not wrong with what some of the things that he said in that interview last year, but that was basically, I'm all I have to give to the Cowboys. It's up to me to make sure my body and things in there and so on, which is, I'm going to be the best player I can be, regardless if it hurts the rest of the team. I'm going to be here because this is a business, and I'm going to be in shape. I'm going to be healed and all that, and I don't need to worry about the other part of it. Now I am not a iPad guy doing the walkthroughs, getting in the locker room. You see the change in the development in him, and this is great. As we get older, we learn a lot of things. I wish when I was younger, I wish I had the brain that I have now, so I didn't make the mistakes that I did then. It makes you wonder what you could have done with that mentality that you were too young and dumb to understand. Alrighty, good people, as always, I appreciate y'all. Peace out.